Hi guys, welcome to another video of our API automation series. In this video, I am going to discuss with you what is header, about more about headers and what is header in API automation, and also we'll be discussing with what is cookies and how to validate the cookies that you are getting from API response, right? So in this video, where what all the things that we are going to discuss is like nothing but you here you can see what is header and how many types of headers are there in API automation, or how many types of headers you face in your real-time work, right? And how to set the headers, different ways how to set, and what are the different ways to set the headers in actual implementation, right? So there can be, we just only learn one single approach. Now in this video we'll be learning multiple approaches, that what all approaches you can follow as per your as per your comfort, right, or as per your requirement, right? And also will be learn how to validate the headers that you are getting in your response, right? And also we'll see how to validate the cookies that you are getting in the your API response. What is header? Header is nothing but it is an, again, you can see it's key and value pair, data. Okay. It is similar to your JSON structure that you have seen, that we have in JSON structure. What do you have? We have key and value pairs data, right? So header is also nothing but an key and value pair data, which is nothing but deals about the metadata information of your request and response, right? Metadata information of your request and response. Okay. So what is header? So you can see header is a key and value pair data, which provide the information, or which provide the metadata information of your request or response. So here from this tab request and response, you can understand that for request also you can have sub headers, and for response also you can have the headers. So you guys have already seen that we some of our previous example we are setting the headers, right? Now here we'll be talking more about the headers, means in depth we'll get to know that what are the different ways, or what are the different ways how we can set the headers. And what are the types of headers? There are different types of header, where you have to, what you have to know, that you what are the headers you have to set for your request. Sometimes you will be setting the what is the content type of your request, and sometimes we will be setting the what is the accept, right? What is the response you're accepting, right? So those kind of header details, or sometimes you'll be passing the your auth verification, auth token, right, or those kind of information that you'll be passing through your header. So there can be not only single header that you are passing in your API request, but you can pass sometime multiple type of headers, multiple header key and value pairs, right? So how to set those kind of things that we will see in your in few minutes, and how to validate the headers that you are getting in your response. So I'll quickly go to a Postman tool and I'll show you manually how do we do it. So let's see here, I have an example. Let's say I'll go for single user, list user, create user. Let's say I'll go for single user, get single user. What does this API do for me? This returns me a single user that is registered there in this particular application. So what you can see, this is a endpoint URL you can see, and you do not need any body. So my body is blank for this case, and in header we are setting. You can see these are the key, nothing but key and value pairs. This is nothing but call as a header. Okay, here you can see these are a key and this is value, right? Here you can see the different metadata information of the request. You can see postman token, host, user agent, accept encoding, connection type. So these are kind of uh, you can see metadata information that we are passing with this API request. And if you have any other headers, so you can set that header key and value pairs here. Let's say you, if some case you need for API authentication, right? So you can say that you can see here we have authorization key, right? So you can have pass this particular header key, and the what is the token that you have, you can pass over here. For now, for this API, I do not need this particular header key and value, so I can just remove it. Okay. Now, if I send the request, you can see now we are getting one response, and that response is nothing but 200. And here in the response, we are getting this body, right? That is something we already know. But here another, what is the another information that we are getting from this response? You can see here in the header part, we are getting some key and value metadata information of the response, right? Here you can see we are getting lot of information. We are getting date, when it is requested, and what is the content type of this response, and what is the transfer connection reporting to the, so on. We are getting lot of key and value pairs here also in the response, right? So there are two type of headers, guys. One header is your related to your request. Another header is related to your response. So request, which is related to your request, that you will be setting at the time of API calls, and the header response, you have to validate the uh, header information, right? Sometimes you will be validating, okay, what is the content type it is returning, right? So this kind of information that you will be validating when you are doing some API calls, right? So there is another thing that I was talking about, that is nothing but a cookies. Here you can see cookies. One field is there. For now, this API does not return me any cookies key and value pairs because of this is a freeware API. But in your real-time application, you may see that okay, it is returning key cookies also, right? And this cookie is nothing but again it's similar to your headers. It will be having key and value pairs only. Okay, guys. I'll show you the official documentation for this. I'll take you to the browser here. You can see this is the rest assured official documentation we have. And here, if you go to scroll down, here you can see we have, let's say, headers. This is the header section. And this header section, you can see that there are get how to get the headers. It is giving me the code. So you can see that response, if you see response dot get headers, so if you say headers, then it is going to return you all the headers that you are getting in your response. At the same time, if you say only get header, and you have to, now it will ask you to pass the name of the header. What is the name of the header? That is nothing but the key. Okay, so the key you have to pass there in the value, sorry, in the parameter, right? So get header, so it will return you the header value, right? Similarly, we have methods for cookies also. If you want to get the cookies all at a single instance, so you can say get cookies, or it will return you in map format, which is having nothing but key and value pairs. And also we have one method that is called as a get cookie. So here you have to again pass the name of the cookie. What is the key of that particular cookie? That name you have to pass, then it will return you, you will be getting the cookie value, right? So this is how you have to use um, uh, get headers and cookies it from your response. So let's see in our code how to use those, how to implement multiple headers, and what are different ways to implement headers. Okay, enough talking. I think let's jump into code. So here inside of my test package, I'll go to my Java, and inside the attribute, I'll get one more class for today's, and I'll say header testing. Okay, and I have created this class. Inside of this class, I'll be creating one test method. Let's say test. I'll say public void single header. I'll say header test. Okay. So this is one of the test method that I have created. In this test method, I am going to what I am going to do. I am going to use the similar API that I have that I have used here. So this API I am going to use there also. So what I can say, I will just copy this particular base URI. Let me come to here and I'll say rest assured, and then I'll say given. Instead of this, I'll say base URI is nothing but this one. And after that, you can see if you say headers, you can see now we are getting options, right? If I say headers, then you can see I have two options for header and three options for headers, right? Two option headers means we can pass two different kind of values inside of the headers. One, you can pass the object of a header class. Another approach is you can pass the name of the header key and values. So for now, we'll be using this one, and we'll later on we'll be seeing how to use this approach or how to use this and these other approaches. For now, let's use this one. I'll header here you have to pass the name of the key, right? So what we can do, let's say I have one key that is nothing but content type. So I'll copy this header key and I'll paste it over here, and I'll have to pass the value, right? That is what you guys already know. I'm just repeating once again. So just to show you the approaches, okay, and then after that I will say get. Okay, here I have to pass the API endpoint. That is nothing but called as a path URL. This one, okay. So path URL I'm passing it over here. So now here I can just store my response. I'll say response is equals this. Now, if I just simply print, let's say response, let me take inside this out so I can see response dot status code, and we can print the response dot get body also, right? So we can say response dot body dot pretty print. If I run this stage now, here you can see we got the response code is 200, and this is the body that is returning from the response, right? The exactly same thing that you can see there in the uh, postman API call, right? So if I go to my body, here you can see the response that we are getting. The similar response that we have received there in the IntelliJ tool also. So here we have just set one header. Let's say you have multiple headers to set, right? Not only content type, you have to set another header also. Let's say uh, I'll be setting this except, right? This is something I want to set. So what you can do, you can say once again header, right? And you have to pass it. Sorry, instead of double quote, you can pass it, and instead of this value, you can pass. Let's say I want to expect except in header application slash json, right? So this is how you can use multiple headers in your request. See, we are getting the response. There is no issue in this implementation. Thing we are going to see here, let's say I do not want to print the header, I want to get the value, right? That is what we told. So to see the what is the value that we are getting, so what we can see, you can response dot get header. You'll see if I say get header, there I am getting two options, right? One is get headers, another is get header. If you are going to use this get header one, then you have to pass the name of the key, particular header value key you have to pass, it will return you the value, right? But if you are using get headers, then it is going to return you the headers list, which is going to be in map format, and you can use those headers added to at all time, right? So for now, what I'll do, I'll get this header, and I'll pass the value, pass the key of the header name. So let's see what is the headers we are getting here. You can see we are getting lot of headers, right? Any of the header you can use. Let's say I am interested on seeing the content type. What is the content type I am getting from the response, right? So I'll be passing that content type. This is my key, and let me print this instead of just getting it. Let me print this header value. So I'll say sys out and this, and it should print the what is the response header value that you have received in your response, right? So here you can see we are getting applicant slash JSON and character set, right? So this is something that you can see there in the Postman tool also. Similar response we have received here. So this is how you can verify your cookies, verify your headers also. So in your application real-time test case, if you have any verification that okay, we have to verify the header is giving us response. In the response, we are getting the header value of content type as application slash JSON or not. So this is one of the way that how you can validate your response, right? Now what we can do actually, you can see all the print statement also. If I use headers, so I can see headers. So what it will return? It will return me the complete response. Means all the header values it is going to print for me. So here you can see we are getting all these applications less. This is something the first line. Okay, from there you can see date and value, right? Content type, whatever the key and value pairs that you have seen there, all the key and value pairs are printed over here also, right? So this is how this is what is use of get header and get headers. This is something you are you'll be using for your verification purpose. Okay, that okay, we are verifying that okay, we are getting in the content type as the application slash JSON or not. That is something you can verify in your response from your response, right? So this is one of the approach, guys. Let's quickly see what all are the another approaches that we can use. So what I can do, I can just copy and paste and create another class, and I'll be using here now class instance. So instead of passing key and value pairs, what I can use actually, we can use header class instance. So let's see what it is. Here it is saying that you have to create a header class object. So I will create a header class object. Just import it, and we have to take an package from the which is coming from the REST right, not from other packages. So I'll take the first one. I'll say is equals new headers, and here you can see it is asking for key and string value and names, name and value, right? So my name is going to be this, and value is going to be the second one. So I can directly copy and pass it over here. So I can see. So this is my header is now. I have created an object. So I what I can do actually, I can copy this line and I can paste it over here. I say let's say this is my header 1 and this is my header 2, right? So what I can see in the header 2, I can set this, right? So we can set it over here. So now this header 1, header 2, these are the two headers that we have collected already. Now we have to use this header 1 and header 2 into our request. So how to do it? So instead of passing the key and value pairs inside of this header, we can pass the object reference of the header class that we created. So we can pass header 1 and header 2. That's it. So it will work the similar way. It is the below example we have already seen. I'll comment this out only for now, just for clear output to see in the console. So if I run it, in the result you can see that we are getting the response that value we have printed, right? This get header. So this is also working fine, that we are instead of passing key and value pairs into this particular dot header, we are passing what we are passing now. We are passing the class object, header class object, right? So this is another approach, guys. So whatever approach you find is fine. That in that approach you can go ahead. That is there is no issue. Let's see what all another approaches we have. So this time what we can do actually, we can create a map. Let's say I'll be using map. Okay. So here you can see one thing, guys. Every time you're creating a new instance of header, it's not looking good, right? So if you have, let's say, 4 5 number of object to set, 4 and 5 number key value pair to set in your project. So in this approach, that is not look good. So instead, what we can do, we can use create a map, and after by using the those map, we can pass the reference into a header. So that is what we are going to achieve right now into this particular test. Okay, so what I can say, I can take an um, help of hash map. Instead of this, I'll be having key as a string type of key, and the value is also going to be string type. I'll give a name of the particular hash map. Let's say hash map, and I'll say new hash map. Right. This is how we declare the hash map. If you do not know about hash map much, so what does it actually? Let me just go quickly describe you one in very single lines. Hash map is nothing but is contains the data list of data. Okay, and it contains data in key and value pairs, similar to the JSON structure you have already seen, right? Hashmap is also looks similar to JSON structure only. If I show you the JSON structure in our previous class, here you can see we are storing data into key and value pairs. So similar way, hashmap also store data into key and value pairs. Okay, so this is how we are declaring the hash map, and this hash map, this is the instance of the hash map, and this is the class name. This is the type of the class, and inside of this we are passing the what is the data type in of this hash map is going to contain. So my key is going the first one indicating that what is the type of your key, and second one is containing what is the type of your value is going to be going to be contained into this particular hash map, right? So this is nothing but type of key, and this is nothing but type of value. Now to put data into this particular map, what do you have to do actually? You have to uh, use the put method. Here you can see we have put method. It is asking for it is asking me to pass the key and value. So we already know what is the key we have. That is, this is my key. So we can directly pass this is my key and set the value of this particular key. So this is nothing but going to my application slash JSON, right? So I have to just add these things. So this is how we are adding the data into this particular hash map, right? So now you can add any number of data that you have for your hash map for your header. So in next value, what I'll say, let's say accept key, and its value is again one application slash JSON. That is what we are going to set. Tomorrow you may have authorization key, so you can put authorization here, right? So you can see authorization, and you can pass your token here, right? So this is how you are going to set headers value in your project. For now I don't have this one, so I'll remove this, and I'll be having only these two key and value pairs into hash map. So my hash map is set. Now I can directly use this as hash map reference, this hash map, and I can set it into my header, right? So I do not need multiple headers call. Okay, and I can just pass this um, hash map to my uh, these headers, right? So this headers is accept hash map. This hash map is contain all the key and value pairs. So this is another approach, guys. So in this, by using this approach also, you can set your headers, whatever headers that you have, and you can pass it to headers. So this header is nothing but is accepting that multiple key and value pairs, multiple set of data, and that set of data we are passing as a map. So if I run this now, you can see that there is no changes in the response. It will work as it was working previously, right? So here you can see we are getting the same response. So that means there is uh, nothing error, no issues with this, right? So yeah, this is how you can set your headers. You can get the headers, and you can verify your response. So this is all about headers. How to set multi single header, how to set multiple headers, what are the different approaches by using by directly passing header key and values, or by passing the header object reference, or by passing your headers in a map. So this is how you can set and pass your headers. And let me know, guys, if you have still any doubt on headers or cookies, right? And if you are enjoying this video, then stay tuned and let me know what if you have any doubt in your API automation, any problem that you are facing, so that I can release a new video on those topic, so that you can get benefited with this. This code is going to upload in GitHub, so you can check it out. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Stay learning and stay happy. Thanks.